We are happy to announce that this episode of the SWW Show is partially brought to you by Humble Bundle. Well, not really. We are part of the Humble Bundle referral program, and we just wanted to say that if you like really cheap games and maybe helping charity pending the Humble thing going on, all you have to do is go to humblebundle.com/partner equals SWW. That's right, humblebundle.com/partner equals SWW. And you just do your normal stuff, and it just kind of helps us get a couple bucks here and there. Maybe it helps AJ get his lights. Maybe it's Mike camera. Maybe we actually pay Corey for helping us out. But again, if you're going to go buy games anyway, it might be worth checking out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 53 of the SWW Show. Just give me one sec here, a little ASMR.
Ooh. Oh,
that was a good crack.
Oh, yeah. What do we got? What do we got here today? I don't see him, so I don't know what he has.
Oh, it's just a cranberry long drink.
Oof, it's a long night, folks, with the long drink.
Also, I'm a pitcher of PBR in already, so.
A pitcher?
Yeah. Let's just say I had coming off of a work event, I bought a pitcher of PBR for the table. One other person had one glass, and then I had the rest of it. And the glasses weren't pint glasses. They were maybe 10-ounce glasses.
So, first off, it's PBR. You should be fine. I just want to point this out. Yeah. It's not like it's real beer here. But why? What's the pitcher? Why are we going to that extreme here?
I thought other people were going to drink. I bought drinks for the table and ended up being drink for me and one other person.
How many people at this table? Like, what are we talking here?
Well, they could legally drink one.
That explains. Okay.
Let's see, it was myself. There's 4 on my side. So there were 5 of us that could have been drinking.
Mm-hmm. And only 2 of you chose to partake.
Well, no. One person had one glass, and then I had the rest of it. I don't let beer go to waste.
I think that's true. That's true.
You know this from me. I do not let beer go to waste.
That I do understand. That is 100% true. Do not let beer, whatever drink I put in front of you, do not let go to waste.
Nope.
It's an admirable trait. We do appreciate it, and we know there will never be waste.
I'm doing my part to save the environment, people.
Can you explain that one to me? How does this quote unquote waste?
I'm eliminating waste from the environment.
My God. I don't think that's how this works.
No, it's exactly how it works. According to all the Greenpeace people, you need to eliminate your waste.
Is this like those carbon offsets I always hear about?
Yeah, I'm carbon offsetting my life by finishing that pitcher of beer.
That's like, I just want to point out, because I was scrolling on the Instagram Reels, right?
Yeah. And
I saw the clip. I know I've seen this one before. So obviously we all know who Piers Morgan is.
Yeah.
And we all know can be a jackass. But I want to... What was the funniest clip I've ever seen? He had like a vegan on his show, and she was trying to explain why animal eating is bad. And he basically go to lunch and be like, "Do you eat avocados?" And eventually got to say yes. And he explained how most of the avocados in the world are made in California, and they literally have to import billions of bees every year, and the bees all die basically from it. And he's like, "Is that not the same thing as killing animals?" And she just walked off the stage. That's all this reminds me of.
I will say this, right? Like, for those that think they're being healthy by drinking almond milk, those are the people ruining the environment.
Mm-hmm.
It takes something like 12 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of almond milk. It's ridiculous. And where do they grow all those almonds? You guessed it. California.
Amen.
So, that being said, they have the highest snowpack in the world right now. So
I did see that.
There'll still be a drought.
But I did see, like, I don't know, Southern California got pounded with rain, too.
They'll still be in a drought, doesn't matter.
Also, I'm still, like, so we don't know. So the company I work for, like, it's based out of California. And, like, sure, like, I knew people from California. It's like AJ knows people. We've both been to California. I am convinced, and I want people in California to correct me, is that if you live in California, you somehow live in, like, a third world country. Because, like, they tell me stuff like, yeah, we're getting a bunch of rain, and, like, roofs are caving in. And I'm like, I'm in the Midwest. Our roofs are made to goddamn handle, like, any weather condition. Oh, my boss is like, yeah, if it just gets below 70, the electricity in the house just stops working. And I'm like, are these homes, like, not built to handle anything?
Yeah, what you don't know is California house code is great for earthquakes, terrible for everything else.
Apparently. Because, like, we both know this. Midwestern homes can handle 100 degrees, they can handle 0, they can handle a goddamn tornado, and they can handle the heaviest blizzard in history, and they'll still be standing.
Dude, a 150-year-old house in Michigan can handle 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It can handle negative 100 Fahrenheit. The concrete might crack a little bit.
Hey, you have to, like, maintenance. I'm not saying that, like, these things will
You'll get 80-mile-an-hour winds whipping off the lake.
You'll get a tree, like, bouncing off of a home.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you just, like,
and then the trees just go, you know what? Not today.
And the home, you're just like, I replace a wall. Like, that's it. And, like, that people are still living there.
Yeah. Let it be known, Midwest housing code should be the housing code for the rest of the United States.
I'm convinced that's actually a true statement. Because also, I've seen what houses cost in the rest of the United States, and the answer is Midwest.
Yeah.
What I've learned is, and I think you appreciate this one, is your best bet to get affordable housing is to live in a state that was once at its prime and has been trying not to die, because housing is way cheaper.
Yeah, just move to Indiana, everyone.
When in doubt, Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, these are your states that I'm just telling you, especially if you could, like, work for a company that pays you like you don't live there, you'll live like a king.
Oh, yeah. Just don't move to Illinois or Michigan.
Or you have to know in these states where you're
Those states
moving.
are too expensive. So it's just not even worth it.
I'm just saying, I got a good deal on my home for what I paid. I don't think I can complain.
Well, we don't talk about the body that's buried in the backyard. You know that. That was part of our agreement that we don't talk about how you acquired that house.
First off, we don't discuss Jimmy. It's fine. We'll move on. Perfect. Okay, so let's see. So what have we been playing here in the last month? It says here you've been playing the transphobic game again. I thought we talked about this.
No, it's just the creator of the source material that's transphobic.
But the internet told me.
This game goes out of its way to tell you that it has a trans character. There are so many times that you have to go into that goddamn pub. And then, obviously it's just background vocals, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they put so much shit in and around that place that it's like, hey, remember that we have this character.
Like, did you forget we have this character?
Meanwhile, I'm just mashing buttons to skip through cutscenes.
So do you have anything new and exciting to talk about in this? Or is it kind of like same old, still kind of Harry Potter pan, you recommend it?
I want to see the end of this. So
Okay.
I'm kind of at that point. But,
Okay.
yeah, nothing's really changed.
Sounds good. Next here, it says you've been playing a Stormworks, and I can't say I'm familiar with this game.
This game is one of those, like, it's kind of Minecraft, kind of Teardown-esque, where it's voxel and you have to build stuff. You have to build vehicles and go rescue people, and there's like trains and vehicles, like cars and trucks and boats. They just released an update where they've got an oil rig now, an oil derrick.
Oh, wow.
So I reinstalled it and played it the other night. So I will say, though, as this episode goes up, I didn't put it in here because it's not out as we're recording this, but as this episode goes up, I will have played the EA Sports PGA Tour.
Ooh. When is that? Is that Friday comes out, or?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Are you excited? Do you play PGA every year, or is it kind of like you dip in every few?
Well, so this is the first EA one in a long time.
Because they were 2K? Who was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, that 2K stuff is still going on. So there's going to be two official golf games.
I'll be curious how long that lasts for.
Yeah.
Considering most time when something like that happens, like, sure, there might be an existing overlap contract, but they tend to go away.
I will be curious because this game has the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
The EA one has the Masters. And I am really looking forward to playing Augusta on max settings. Because that course is beautiful. And I can only imagine what it's going to look like. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's one of those games where I'm glad it's coming to PC because I can exploit power. But also, you know, it's a golf game, right? So how much stuff is really going to be different from, you know, the 2K and the golf club stuff? You know, I don't foresee any of that stuff really being too different. So
they're different engines, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one's 2K and one's EA, so unless they were using Unreal, it would have to be two different engines.
No, that's right. Yeah, I'm very curious, kind of, too, because, like, again, we don't get much of when you get head-to-heads like this. Especially to being, like, the same license, too.
Yeah, I mean, the last time would have been
when NBA was... Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had the NBA Live 16 or whatever that was. That was a disaster.
And then that was the next year when the game got pulled off the shelf, like a week before it came out?
No, that was Elite. That was 2 years before. Which, Elite boggles my mind because it had been reviewed.
No, like, there was copies of that game that exist in the wild.
That game exists on... I think the only way you can play it is a torrent.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, press had reviews.
Yeah.
Like, there are reviews that exist on the Internet Archives because some press, like, had it or whatever and would still kind of release it.
Yeah, so... But then, I think 07 was the last time the NFL had two. And I think 08 was the last time the NHL had two.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
So
I knew it's been a while. Oh. Perfect. Cool. The game I've been playing here, because obviously I was about to get on, like, the flights with Steam Deck stuff, but the big thing was, we were playing Warzone, and I just want to point out, you know my love of the Turtles, that I bought my first ever skin in one of these games. I bought...
Shit, what did I buy? I bought one for the first Warzone. But now I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it's gonna bug me.
Well, so I bought the Shredder skin from Ninja Turtles. The thing I want to point out, which is I think the funniest thing ever. So there's a bug currently in Warzone where currently there are 33 operators, which are just like the characters you can play as.
Yeah.
Including Shredder. If you did not buy Shredder, he shows up in your operator panel If you bought him, you only have 32 and Shredder doesn't, and you have to go into a separate window to equip him. Because there's a kind of bug in the system, apparently, where it's, like, inversed of that. If you go check out, like, their Reddit post stuff, it's the funniest thing. I want to know how Activision fucked it up so bad that they just inverted the you get him in your operator skin or not if you didn't buy him.
That's interesting.
But yeah, also, these skins are expensive.
Yeah.
This like, I've always conceptually knew they were $20, but when you see it on paper and you're like, I understand that, like, Activision takes a cut and the license holder takes a cut and there's, like, a few different, like, people in the hands in the spy. It still seems a while to me how expensive these skins are for a first-person game.
Yeah, I will admit, I never understood why... Excuse me. Like, I understand Fortnite, right? Because that's a third-person game.
Yeah, third-person, I actually conceptually think they should cost more, because you see that.
Yeah. But yeah, a first-person game, what's the point in buying a skin?
Right.
Now, weapon skins, sure, because you're actually going to see those. But yeah, a character skin that there's no way you're going to see it unless you do, like, what is it, the executions or whatever?
Right, you see in the executions, and then you see it, like, when you, like, do the drop in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Or, like, at the tail end if you win. Like, that's kind of it. And, like, sure, I eventually bought one, and you can say I'm a hypocrite. But hear me out. I've played this game for thousands of hours, and it's the first $20 I've spent in this game. So, like, I think from a cost thing, at a certain point, I'm just like, whatever. But, like, there are people who buy these things, like, every week.
Also, those people eat top ramen every night, so...
Fair. That's valid.
Meanwhile,
like,
I'm eating steak.
Ooh. We got a fancy boy over here.
That's right, bitches. I eat steak.
Every night he eats steak. Every night.
That's right. I got an ice maker in my room.
Isn't that a real thing, though? I thought you really do have an ice maker in your room.
Yeah, I really do have an ice maker.
Your restaurant-grade ice maker?
And I really do, well, not every night, but I am eating steak at least 3 times this week.
We got Mr. Fancy over here.
It was on sale. It was buy one, get one 50% off, so.
He's like, first off, I went to Meijer. It is the expired steak that expired like 2 days ago in the freezer section.
No, that's my pork.
I also just want part of you to know. So I grew up around Chicago. Jewel is the king, right? People don't know when you Jewel, and I'm assuming most Christmas have this. Go check out that like BOGO meat section. That's like meat that literally expires tomorrow, because it will make you through college really cheapy. Because it's always like buy one get one free, and you're like, I'll just throw this shit in the freezer. Don't ever undercut the idea of just buying it really cheap and just throwing it in the freezer for a month. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Freezers are wonderful.
Freezers are wonderful. Speaking of chopping things up and throwing in the freezer, AJ, we have to talk about the boy here that you have seen. You have been sent to us by, I'm going to see if I remember this right, the Baba Yaga?
Yeah, Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. AJ, can you tell us about Mr. Jean-Ric Ford, in which I have heard he talks for literally like 3 minutes in this movie or some shit?
Yeah, there's not many lines.
But I've heard specifically, Keanu Reeves got paid something like 15 grand a line because how few lines are. It's like some bullshit fact like that.
Without spoiling this movie, I will say John Wick 4 has the same problem that every John Wick movie has, wherein the bad guys don't die until it makes sense in the fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how many times have you watched the first 3 John Wick movies and gone, okay, that dude just got domed, he's dead.
But he's not.
And then all of a sudden he's stumbling around.
Mm-hmm.
And Wick lays 10 rounds in him because it fits the choreography, right?
Of course.
This movie has that out the ass.
Really?
There were so many times watching this film where I was like, Okay, that guy's dead. No, okay, he isn't. Well, now he's dead. Oh, now he's still not dead? And I was like, no wonder this movie's almost 3 hours long.
Hey, it's the longest John Wick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 2:45. And you could probably cut half an hour out of this film by making the cronies die when they get hit properly.
But would that be as fun, though?
Yeah, because then it makes John Wick seem like even more of a badass. When he has to shoot some dude 10 times to kill him, it's like, okay, I can do that. You know, I can shoot a guy 7 times in the chest and then once in the head. You know, it takes a lot of the fantastical elements out of the film and replaces them with, oh, well, this is what would really happen, but almost too severe, and almost goes back into the fantastical of, you know, these guys are now like bosses in a video game. They take so many hits.
Yeah, but that's John Wick's always kind of like, I'm gonna be objective. I think John Wick to me has always been video game the movie.
Well, the first one, like that opening scene, that opening fight right in his house, is the best job that they ever do in these films of that guy is dead because he got shot twice in the chest, and then Wick finishes him off with a headshot just to make sure he's dead. Right? The first film does the best job of counting the rounds. John Wick 4 does a horrendous job of it. It's, you know, it takes the people that are, you know, into guns and know the weapons that he uses, which, I mean, I know a few of them, but not all of them. And basically just lines them up and just slaps them all in the face.
It's what's the joke where you could like slap how many big boys you could slap in this kind of when you slap like it's one of those.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, the dude's shooting, you know, he should be shooting hollow point 9mm, like that drops a human in 2 shots at most. You're trying to tell me this dude took 6 to the chest and is still walking?
So I gotta ask the question then. Is John Wick 4 a good movie? Because you sound a little more, I think, negative than I think the general consensus has seemed.
I mean, it's fine when you take that part out of it, right? Like, as an action film, it's perfectly fine. As a beacon of realism like this series had been at one point, it's just a slap in the face. So, and I mean, yes, okay, the dude fell down, what, like 15 feet, hit the railing on a fire escape, and then hit a trash can and survived at the end of 3. So it's kind of one of those, okay, you know, now you've reached the point of John Wick is just a superhero.
Which yeah.
Doesn't make sense, right? Like, throughout the film, you show him being human, right? He gets shot and he has to get stitched up, and then his stitches tear, and then he's bleeding, and he can't hold his balance.
Wait, like I'm thinking even like the first John Wick, where there's that infamous he's like kind of the doctor heals him up, and he goes and he gives him the pills. He goes, I suggest you don't fight. This is for when you do fight. But the point is, like, it shows like humanity of like you need painkillers to handle this. Even though we already learned in the first movie you're a psychopath, you still need painkillers.
Yeah. Meanwhile, by 4, he's taking like how many times does he get shot?
Probably thousands.
Well, and then also, this isn't a spoiler because it's been in previous films. the Kevlar suits that they wear, that's like, oh, the suit's bulletproof or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There are just straight up gunfights where he pulls the suit jacket over his face because it's bulletproof.
That's not how bulletproof works.
And I'm like...
First off, even if the bullet didn't fully penetrate through the suit, it would hurt like a motherfucker if you got shot in the head through a bulletproof vest.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, pending the round and how distance, a lot of stuff, right? You could walk away from it fine, but you would fucking get hit in the noggin.
I mean, let's put it this way, right? By all accounts, a level 3 plus ceramic plate will shrug off a 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
But people that get shot by 9mm with a 3 plus have intense bruising.
Right, like if you look at people's ribs after like those, because like we even like people don't know, like one of my friends that you met that lived with me, like he was a cop, right? And he's shown me like the videos that they watch, whatever, of like, yeah, you will survive through a bulletproof vest, like, and you'll walk away even, like you'll be, but like the point, yeah, those videos get pretty fucked up when you like look at people afterwards, of like, yeah, it's bruising, it's like, it's literally like you got into a literal fight against like an MMA fighter, and you're just you, like that's what you're gonna look like at the end.
Yeah, this film just takes everything that this series has kind of stood for and just, slaps it in the face, right? Like, it's just, everything about it is just a disappointment when you think of it as this is supposed to be a culmination of the previous 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you take this film on its own, it's perfectly fine.
Do you think this has something to do with, because isn't this a different team? Like, I thought that the team that did 1 through 3 are, like, working on other stuff now.
It is a different team. It's a different director, for sure. But I don't feel like it should have changed as much as it did.
Okay. Because, like, that is always a problem of, like, when you get a new team.
Yeah.
So, like, we've seen that plenty of times, I think, in sequels, where it's not the same, even though it is. But,
well, I mean, Creed 3 is a perfect example, right? Like,
yeah, I think there's a lot we said about Creed 3 that is very much like it's just not the other films.
It's heavily anime inspired.
Which, I'll be curious, there's a lot of stuff going on that we will probably get to next month, and I'll be curious of casting decisions that were made, but we'll get there. Stuff I want to shout out that I've seen this month, I thought you'd appreciate. So obviously I put on White Boy, which I'm assuming that AJ realized immediately what this is. If you don't know, so there's actually a documentary before the movie White Boy Rick, and it's just called White Boy, and I just wanted to shout out. It's actually a pretty good documentary if you want to see more about White Boy Rick and probably more of the true tales of kind of what happened. I currently saw it on Netflix. You can tell, I watch a lot of weird shit when I'm sick. And I just thought it was interesting to shout out. I also want to shout out another documentary I saw there. A Netflix style documentary just came out, which is Madoff. Who we don't know, that's Bernie Madoff, who did like the greatest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history, running like a hedge fund. And I thought it was a very fun way, and I thought more digestible way kind of so it happened, because a lot of those like finance stuff can get probably too in the weeds for a lot of people, and I think they kind of did it really well.
Here's the thing that they never cover in the Madoff stuff whatsoever, that I wish they did. Bernie Madoff is the reason that Bobby Bonilla gets paid $1.4 million by the Mets every year until like 2050.
Yeah.
Because Bernie Madoff sold the owners of the Mets. Oh, I can make that. Yeah, just defer this guy's contract for 40 years. I can make you all kinds of money. This will be like this never even happened.
Which is funny because everyone talks about like baseball having a problem because it doesn't have salary caps, and I think that's a good example of the baseball problem. If we actually implemented the game actually having like the correct type of salary caps, like every other sport in the world, shit like that would have never happened.
Oh no, it'd be even worse. Because they would make 50-year contracts that, you know, the salary cap hit is like $2 million a year.
But that's like, but like the point is like you see stuff though like in like basketball and football when you can't do. They make rules of like the cap is for when you play versus you give a signing bonus. Like there's certain like rules to kind of fix those problems.
Yeah, potentially. But it makes baseball fun.
And then lastly, I saw that I wanted to shout out is, have you seen this film, AJ, called The Laundromat?
I don't believe so.
So, it is a 2019 film by Steven Soderbergh that's on Netflix.
Is this the one shot on iPhones?
No. This is the one that's basically about the Panama Papers, where basically it talks about basically these people running these insurance fraud that was happening in real life, kind of, and like basically how shell corps work and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It stars Gary Oldman, Meryl Streep, Antonio Banderas, Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey.
Yes. It's a very interesting film. I'm gonna start with, I don't know if it's good.
I don't think Soderbergh's films have been good in a very long time. They have been interesting, right? Like,
yeah, I think that's what I was about to say. So this film, it's all about basically a Meryl Streep's like, and it becomes in this film a widow, and then it's about her trying to get the insurance money. And like the amount of like, and it kind of then jumps between the different eyes of the different people, right? Of like the insurance broker, and then this guy, and this guy, like kind of jumps between them. And I think it's a cool way to tell the story. It's a cool way to kind of explain this thing of like shell corps and stuff that like really happened. But I think it makes the story super incoherent. And I also think if you watch the trailer, it feels like you're expecting like a satirical comedy, probably more akin to The Big Short, starring Gary Oldman and Antonio Banderas, and it turns into this weird like Meryl Streep being an upset widow film. Which I feel like if you read the stuff and look at it, is not what was advertised at all. And it's not even like when you do like those twists, you're like, but that twist was good. I don't think this twist was good. Like I feel like this film, I feel like we'd feel better about if it really was like if I just said, here's Gary Oldman and Antonio Banderas and they're ripping people off and about to have a good time, we'd both be like, I want to see that film. But
yeah, maybe.
Maybe, but like you can at least see a tether there, or I think it'd be entertaining.
Yeah.
Where, I think, but I do understand what you're saying though. Steven Soderbergh, like, God, what is his last great film? Is it Magic? Is Magic Mike? No, Logan Lucky. Is Logan Lucky and Magic Mike his only two films of the last decade that we could point to that like are actually really good?
Yeah.
And like he does a lot of films. Yeah, because he did Oceans, he did Contagion, like he did stuff that people we like. He did Aaron Brockovich, like yeah, he like
the one that he did. I believe Anna Kendrick was in it, where they shot it on iPhones, and it was very much a guerrilla film. The idea behind it was amazing. Right? It was exploiting filmmaking into its most basic form and making a feature film out of it. It wasn't very good. It was okay. It wasn't great. But, yeah, coming off of the Oceans franchise, and then, you know, Magic Mike and Logan Lucky within, I believe,
they're actually
4 years.
Yeah, they're a few years apart, but yeah, like those are definitely like I think Magic Mike is an amazing film, but like those are films I think you could objectively point to and be like, there are great things in these films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah,
was Logan Lucky the first Amazon produced feature
Film?
film that went to theaters?
I don't think... Is Logan Lucky actually Amazon? I didn't think it was.
I believe it was.
No, it looks like it's a Soderbergh independent production. It's distributed by Bleacher Street.
Yeah, I could have sworn that was a...
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was. No.
I remember they did one that was like Charlize Theron was in it, and they were like drug dealers in Mexico.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the movie was horrendous. That might have been their first feature film.
You're not thinking Atomic Blonde.
No.
Okay.
That might have been Amazon's first feature film that was in theater.
Which I haven't got. I didn't put that in the story as well to the film anyway. I think it's interesting. We're now back to I was listening things back to the TV streamer. Because I don't know if you saw the news that broke today. It was officially confirmed that Scorsese's film for Apple is going to like a wide release, not just limited release, to get into for awards next year.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, but I think it's very interesting how we did go from like that film now, whatever it is, starring Leo DiCaprio. We don't even have an Apple Plus date for it anymore. Like they removed the Apple Plus date and it's just going to theaters temporarily.
Yeah, I think studios have realized after Top Gun that there is money still at the box office.
You just have to make something that makes people want to go see it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if people don't know, Top Gun Maverick is now on Amazon Prime, so you have lost any excuse if you've not seen this film.
It's been on Paramount for a while.
Sure. But the point is, now between both those streaming services, that's like 80% of like household audiences that like will stream things.
Yeah. I mean, it's 100% of Xfinity subscribers.
Oh, right, because they all get Paramount, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who has any excuse left, you have zero excuse. Go check out Top Gun Maverick if you've not seen that film. Yeah. Jumping to the news. First thing I want to shout out, the Oscars was a few weeks ago. There was no punching happening this year. The big thing I do want to shout out, obviously there are some good awards. Everything, everywhere, all at once is now by any metric, like people just do online, looked at the metrics. It is actually not the most awarded film for Oscars, but is now the most awarded film in the history of cinema, which I think is wild. Also, they cleaned up at the Oscars. I think they won 8 Oscars of like the 13 they were nominated for.
Yeah.
Including Best Picture, including Best Leading Actors, Best Supporting Actor. Like it was a goddamn cleanup.
Yeah, I will say, the only thing really from the Oscars that is worthwhile talking about is, was it Angela Bassett?
Yes.
That didn't acknowledge Jamie Lee Curtis winning Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, Angela Bassett seemed like actively pissed off she'd win.
And it's like, you haven't won jack shit this year.
And like, hear me out. No one's questioning Angela Bassett as an actress. But like, also, you were supporting actress in Black Panther. I don't know, like, I didn't think she would have won. Like, to me, it was Jamie Lee Curtis was going to win that award.
Yeah. I hate to say it, Angela Bassett, that movie wasn't great.
Yeah, and like, you were good at that movie. I'm not saying she's bad, but like, yeah. Especially though, like, when people were expecting everything to clean up, and Jamie Lee Curtis is one of those people pointed to in that film. Like, was that win a shock to anyone?
Apparently Angela Bassett. I feel like that's the only person that was shocked, though, right? It had to have been. There's no way anyone that was paying attention to awards this year was
Right,
surprised.
the only other option was, so I pulled up so here are the nominees, okay? It was Hong, and I apologize if I butcher your name. I'm not trying to. Hong Chu for The Whale, which to me, when I hear The Whale, I obviously think of Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I feel like there was only one role that was going to win in The Whale.
Right, and it was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
You have Carrie Condon for the Banshees of Inisherin, which I haven't heard. Like, people love that movie, but I didn't hear it kind of in the context of, like, people thought it was going to do super hot. And I think the only person...
I think the only award that people were expecting Banshees to really compete with was Best Picture.
Yeah, and that's probably where I was thinking too. And the other one was the lead female in everything of the daughter in Stephanie Hsu. And I could have seen her actually be Jamie Lee Curtis just because people pointed to her performance. But hear me out though. 2 of the 5 people are the same movie.
Yeah.
Like that's not that common. It happens.
It happened a couple of years ago, and I forget what movie it was.
But the point is, it's a couple years ago. Like, it's not like every year that happens, right? When you see 5 people. And I would assume that the rule of thumb is, if I see 5 people and 2 of them with the same film, one of them is probably winning.
I will say this, from someone that used to know a voter, and at one point in time voted in an Oscars. If you see multiple roles from a film, there's less of a chance that one of those roles is going to win, because there are a lot of voters that will choose one or the other.
And that's valid, but I feel like this was the year though where that was the film everyone thought was gonna like going into the Oscars and seeing all the awards beforehand. Like, this was one of the years where we had a film. Like, there were some years where there was a few films, and that's when that split happens. This was the year we had a film, and then we had a few secondary films in the background, like The Whale and Top Gun Maverick. People expected to do well, but everyone expected everything to just clean house.
Yeah, which it pretty much did.
Right. The top of the line ones that won all of them, basically, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Everything Ever All Once. Insanely awarded film. Next thing I want to shout out was, we officially know now that Ridley Scott's Napoleon has to be coming out very soon. It has been officially rated R. And the rumor is that it might premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm going to be very curious when we get closer about this film, because Ridley Scott, I think, is someone who could tell these kind of stories, because he kind of dips into history. I think Joaquin Phoenix being Napoleon, I don't know if I have a better choice. I don't think I would have, like, on paper, would you have thought of him and picked him as your choice for Napoleon Bonaparte?
No, because Joaquin Phoenix is like 6 feet tall.
That's okay. And, like, Napoleon, the true thing in history, actually, he wasn't that short, but he was still, like, 5'6", 5'7". Like, he wasn't, like, 4'2", but he wasn't a giant.
Yeah, by all accounts, he was 5'7" to 5'8".
Right, like, the he is short is actually, like, a British joke. They did just piss him off. But, like, he wasn't, like, a giant by any stretch.
Right.
But, like, even as an actor, I think Joaquin Phoenix is an interesting choice, and I'm just generally curious kind of, like why Ridley, like, kind of what we're going to get out of him, and, like, what Ridley Scott kind of saw in that.
But I mean, he saw one of the greatest actors that's performing right now, so.
Fair, that's fair. Also, I want to point out that Ridley Scott's next film after this is Gladiator 2, which is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's right. They are doing it.
They are doing it. So, yeah. Just that. Next news story. There's some Disney news going on, and I want to kind of focus on it. So, Bob Iger, as we've talked about, is back as Disney CEO. He's been back now for a few months. So what I think is interesting is immediately he has now come in and he is slashing. He said budgets on film, on TV. He is canceling projects left and right to kind of rein in Disney's costs. And he said he's going to focus more on the quality output than the actual output. The big thing kind of with that, AJ knows 2 stories down, is like he has canned some Star Wars projects including the Patty Jenkins Star Wars. There was some rumbling going on that a bunch of that Star Wars stuff got canned, including some TV shows we know. Sounds like he's bringing in some Marvel costs. Do you think that Iger, A, to begin with, is the right person to be leading Disney ship to this? And then B, do you agree with that decision, kind of him kind of reining it in and focusing more kind of where we used to get like a Pixar film a year and like 1 to 2 Marvel products a year versus like 8? Kind of, do you kind of agree with these steps he's kind of taking?
I mean, the problem, right, is Disney now owns so much.
Right.
That they own so much of the yearly box office. So if you want your projects to hit and feel special, you need to have fewer projects throughout the year. They just release too much stuff during the year for it to feel special.
Right, because especially, like, they have these sub-brands. I think it's a valid thing to say, right, is that, like, Disney has always kind of treated each sub-brand, even though they're all Disney, a little bit different. But, like, I think it's fair to say, like, they should basically look at each brand and be like, Pixar, your job is one animated project a year. Disney Animation years is 1 a year. Marvel years is, like, 2 years. Like, kind of, like, set this. But the point is, like, still give them tighter numbers. But even if you do that, then you end up with, what, 10 giant Disney projects a year versus what we probably got last year of 50?
Yeah, it just felt like, you know, if Top Gun Maverick saved the box office, Disney is ready to implode that bitch.
Right. Like, I think we really got, like, what, 3 Pixar films last year? So we got, like even stuff like that on the animation side. We're like, that's not sustainable. This isn't, like, where Disney's the only animation town and house. There's, like, 8 viable animation studios out there all fighting. This isn't like the old days where Disney, like, we're Pixar, we own the box office.
Yeah, I do like that Iger is reining stuff in. I feel like there's even more to rein in.
And that's probably valid. I at least think of, like, because we were talking that I think Iger is, in modern times, one of, we argue on the Izzy, but he's one of the most important entertainment CEOs in, like, modern, like, Hollywood and stuff. And I think he has, a lot of times, I think of what we've seen of Hollywood leadership, I think if anyone can right that ship, I think he might be the only person we've seen who can.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a fair thing to say is, he's part of the reason we're here.
That's true.
So, I think I'd be very curious. But, like, even, like, when he came back of CEO, like, whatever that was, 5-6 months ago, remember the first thing he did was, like, he like, fixed, like, his first focus was, like, make the Disney parks not suck. Like, I think he sees problems, even if he helped to cause them. So I'm at least hopeful that he's kind of starting to kind of think about this stuff. And,
well,
like, maybe he's in a bigger vision.
I wonder if it took that, whatever time it was off, for him to really see where Disney was.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, oh, this is all my fault. I need to fix this.
And then, to be fair, there is something to be said of, it's partially his fault, and maybe he is the right person to fix it, because maybe he could see kind of where his vision went wrong.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, also Disney, besides, like, 1 or 2 CEOs, has been a company of rough histories, too, which is always interesting. Because we think of Disney as this, like, magic thing, and it's like, think about it. Bob Chapek was forced out to bring Iger back. Before Iger, he helped to force out Michael Eisner. Like it's this, like, who then before that forced out the Disney nephew. Like, it's kind of like this company that has never been good at succession plans.
Yeah, it feels like it's a brand that has succeeded despite all of its attempted failure.
Hmm. No, we will see, and obviously we'll keep a close eye on Disney, because if anything happens to Disney, I think Hollywood's fucked.
Yeah, potentially.
Speaking, though, as era's coming to an end, this is a report by The Hollywood Reporter from March 14th. We finally know what is Quentin Tarantino's final film. It is currently titled The Movie Critic, and this is supposed to be about. The rumors is it's supposed to be about Pauline Kael, who was a film critic in the who was famous in the 70s. If you don't know, there's the infamous quote when Richard Nixon won re-election in 72, and she's the one who's always been kind of tied to you, and it's the truth of it's a little foggy, of like, how did Nixon win? I don't know who voted for him when he won 49 states. That's who this is about. But yeah, this is supposed to be Quentin Tarantino's retirement film, and I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, kind of the subject matter he's hitting. My initial gut on this is I think it's a little disappointing considering he touched Hollywood obviously in his last film, but it does seem like a very Tarantino weird topic to kind of hit.
Oh, Tarantino wants to go out making a film that is so masturbatory to the critics. Right? This film is going to get 10s, even if it's probably a 6 or a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is going to highlight the glamour of being a movie.
It's gonna do that, and then like, yeah, he's gonna like wink and nod to like the big film critics still around. Like I wouldn't be. So I'm gonna put a thing out there. I will bet you money in some capacity. It's somehow on the tail end of this film when you cut through the decades that Siskel and Ebert are going to be mentioned in this film because of course they are.
Oh, I'll go a step above.
You think they'll be?
There's going to be an Ebert stand-in in this movie.
Like it's going to be like the tail end of her career and she meets like a new reporter or some shit.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how it's going to go. We may not see his face, but we'll hear his voice.
But yeah, it is supposedly, which he did say, what was his magic number? 10 films, and this would check out?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, like this does check out with what he's been saying. So, also, I gotta ask the final question before we move on. How many different feet shots are we gonna have in this film?
All the feet shots.
It's gonna be just feet, right? It's gonna be the entire film. But yeah,
I mean, this film's gonna be masturbatory on several levels.
He's gonna need his own little suite, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, next news story I wanted to bring up, kind of, obviously last month we talked about Creed 3. We both at least decently liked it. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan will be now spearheading what Amazon is calling the Creed verse. So people don't know, obviously Creed 3 did smashing at the box office. Here are the current projects that we know or are rumored to be in development in the Creedverse. We have a Creed 4 that has been confirmed. We have the rumblings, which I think are still kind of rumblings, of that Drago series, and Amazon has also confirmed that there will be an Amara series.
Which makes sense, right? Like, they clearly set up.
So hear me out. The Amara one, I am the least offended by the 3.
I do hope, though, that the Drago film covers maybe some of Victor's youth. Because in 2, it just jumps straight to Victor Drago is just knocking dudes out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the big thing that I think that kind of irks me on this is, like, the Amara thing to me, right, is like, so we went from Rocky to Creed to discuss the next generation, right? To me, that would be going from Creed to Amara. Why do we also need Creed to keep happening then? Like, Rocky didn't keep happening when Creed started.
I mean, the Amara thing is a potential. So, I could see of the potential projects that they list, I can fully see the Rocky anime being greenlit and going.
Mm-hmm.
And the Amara series potentially taking longer, if not happening at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully expect the Drago movie to happen.
I expect the Dragon movie to happen. 100%.
So, we'll have Creed 4, Drago, the anime, and then potentially the Amara thing.
And we'll see. Next thing I got shouted here. WWE is currently working with state gambling boards and regulators to let people legally bet on WWE matches. Oh boy, AJ, I don't. So the reason sports betting works, right, is because basically sports players by law, because that can't throw a game and like basically they get in big trouble. How do you do that for a scripted thing?
Well, here's the interesting thing, right? Like, in the story, it straight up says, creative don't plan to inform wrestlers who will win until hours before a match.
Mm-hmm.
How are they supposed to plan a match if they don't know who's going to win?
See, so that's a big problem, right? I'm also thinking of, if you think about this, right, of that, like, until hours. Hours, unless you're closing betting, like, the day of. Like, that's so... And then here comes the other problem is, imagine, because, like, in wrestling, stuff happens all the time, where, like, something gets changed last minute, like, someone get injured or whatever. How do you handle those circumstances? Have we changed 2-1 in the middle of the match because someone got injured?
Yeah, that would be interesting, like a mid-match injury.
Because, like, that happens all the time in wrestling. Is that you change the winner because in a match he can't finish it. And we're like, just make it in character, end it. Or the stuff like when DQs happen or any of the wrestling shenanigans. Like, this is not a simple beast to just be like, there's a winner and a loser.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Hey, let's be honest though. You'll get to experience the rest. If any state's going to let it, it's going to be Michigan.
Well, they say they're targeting Michigan, Colorado, and Indiana.
Those are the states that I thought I've always had sports, because Michigan's infamously like betting's kind of the easiest to get through.
Well, also, I mean, they weren't the first, but
they were the first.
They were one of the first states that legalized sports betting as soon as they could. So, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of casinos.
Yes, you do. Yes, you'll do. Next story, I want to shout out the sad news that I kind of put here. Obviously, we at least have to mention that TMZ is reporting The Wire, and as we know, the John Wick star Lance Reddick did die kind of about 10 days ago from when we were recording this. He died at the age of 60. Which I think we all would agree was surprisingly young, and I think that was news none of us expected kind of here.
It's both older and younger than I thought he was.
That's fair, because he's been, like, acting forever.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about like stuff he got famous for, like Oz and The Wire, like stuff that like a while ago for this stuff.
Yeah, I would have fully accepted 65 to 75.
Yeah.
As, oh yeah, that's how old Lance Reddick is. And then I heard 60, and I was like, really? But then when you look at him, you go, he was 60?
Yeah.
Dude doesn't look a day over 35.
Damn right. Speaking of things that don't look a day over 35, Mr. Cookie Monster. I wanted to shout out this story because that's the world we live in, folks. Sesame Street has officially announced they'll be launching their first NFTs with Cookie Monster. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know companies were still launching NFTs until I read this story.
Dude, at this point, the NFTs are just happening because all those plans were already in place.
I want to.
Everyone's just like, oh yeah, we're launching our NFT. Meanwhile, like the NFT market has had the bottom drop out 5 times.
I want to know who in the year 2023 was like, we're launching NFTs. I'm sorry, Square Enix. I guess that's you, but.
Well, God, and then there's VCon in Indianapolis, where the only way that you can get in is to have an NFT.
Damn, I should have put us in for press badges for that.
Guess who's running that shit show?
Who?
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Let's see, VCon. When is VCon? How much does VCon go? It's, oh my god, it's dynamic pricing? The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like...
It's in Lucas Oil Stadium?
It's like... Well, yeah, because it's got, like, Andrew Schultz is doing a set, and there's a bunch of musical acts. So
we want to go, it's veecon.co. When you have when you have to have like a 5-step process of how to buy tickets.
Oh, did you finally reach the point where it's like, here's how you get a ticket?
Okay, so I'm on the tickets website. So there's a form here, people are aware, that if you want to buy a ticket, you could go to they would help you with a VCon concierge. But if you want to buy a ticket from your own, that's fine. It's only a 3-step process. First, you create a digital wallet, which, holy fuck. Next, you purchase Ethereum, and then you buy from secondary. I understand these markets, and I don't know what that word means. So I clicked on how to buy a ticket then, which takes me to a Medium post that is a 7-minute read.
The best part is, it's like, oh yeah, you have to buy it off the second-hand market.
Right, and you have to go through MetaMask. Like, shit.
Like, they don't even have first market tickets. It's, oh, you have to buy these second-hand, and it's...
They have to explain to you how to set up for Coinbase even, so you get money into your wallet. You then have to send your crypto from Coinbase to MetaMask, and then buying it on OpenSea.
And people wonder why crypto fails.
Like, I think there are actually some usefulness utility to some crypto stuff. This is not one of them, I want to point out. Whenever I defend this is not one of them.
These examples are the examples where I love to harp on no one understands crypto, even if they say they do, right?
What the fuck? So a ticket is currently... So its floor price is 0.131 Ethereum, which means a current ticket on the second-hand market is $1,700. For the cheapest ticket available.
I'm sorry, but if you think you're going to get $1,700 worth of value by going to VCon, I don't even know if it's a physical... Like, I know they're obviously at Lucas Oil. I don't know if it's a physical thing, though.
I think it... Okay, so I'm on the press page, by the way. You can't even submit a press thing without... So they need the following things from us. You need an Instagram, a Twitter, a URL, and LinkedIn.
We have all of those.
God, this is the most painful thing I've maybe ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
If that wasn't the weekend before Memorial Day, I'd be like, what are we doing?
My answer to that would be sitting on the beach.
You're like, not that. But yeah, final film story I want to shout out is we officially know a lot more, and we have a trailer for the Turtles movie coming out later this year. I think, first thing I want to shout out, if people would check out the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, it very much is the same style that the Spider-Verse ones were in, and I think that's pretty cool. I also want to shout out that I appreciate how Seth Rogen's credit in the front, like in the beginning, where they're like, from Seth Rogen, is from permanent teenager Seth Rogen. Big stuff I want to shout, which I think is the best casting of all time, also is that Jackie Chan is Splinter. This film, I don't know if it'll be good, but I think this very much feels like, especially after the Michael Bay stuff, Seth Rogen, I somehow think, understands what Ninja Turtles needs to be fun, and I'm at least hopeful. Is anything about this kind of tickle your fancy, AJ?
I don't give a damn about this project.
I figured as much. But I did want to shout out because I also think, I remember when it got announced that Seth Rogen was doing this, like, everyone was kind of like, if anyone could do it, like, it is the crazy mind of Seth Rogen.
I do agree with that. I will say that.
Like if anyone could, like, Michael Bay, we proved, couldn't do it, right? The second one, I think he understood more, but he's still, like, it's not. Where this one is like, Seth Rogen, let's be honest, if every morning I said to you, he ripped a bong and just watched Ninja Turtles, we believe that sentence.
Yeah.
So.
Only because he would be so high, he just turned the TV on, and that's what was on.
Right, yeah, and he'd just forget how to change the channel.
Yeah. So,
we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, I'll go see it when it comes out, but it comes out later this year. Jumping into game news, we still have not been confirmed on this first story, even though it's been out for a few, but it seems like multiple people have now confirmed it. So we're going to keep the asterisks of as we're recording. It's still rumors, but the Suicide Squad, which is a game by Rocksteady, is apparently, so it's supposed to come out in May, but according to Jason Schreier, that Warner is talking about just infinitely just delaying it into next year to fix the game, which is wild considering that game, if they get delayed, would be going gold probably around the time this episode goes up. To put this in perspective, like this would be, we talked about the like basketball games being like canceled last minute. This would be that level of a delay. I don't know if you have any thoughts about like how, like, 'cause I genuinely think that is, if this goes through and that happens, I think that's wild. It's the closest delay to launch probably in modern time.
Also, it's funny. So, I went to the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Literally below the replies, the first 3 replies, which 2 of them are Schreier to himself.
Right.
Is Tyler, the creator, in caps, saying, "Call Me If You Get Lost was the first album I made with a lot of songs that didn't make the final cut. Some of those songs I really love and knew they would never see the light of day, so I've decided to put a few of them out." Is this how I learned that Tyler just released new music?
Elon Musk runs a tight business, okay?
I mean, it's so tight that it lost half its value.
Hey, it's like I said, you're tightening your belt. You lost a few pounds, okay? It's same thing. Same thing. See, it's same logic. Beautiful. Next, I wanted to shout out. Respawn has opened a 3rd studio because they plan to keep Apex Legends going for 10 to 15 more years. But I want to shout out where the studio is. Shout out to Madison, Wisconsin, which we don't know. Obviously, it's the capital of the state of Wisconsin. Over the last couple of years, has been getting a lot of like AAA and offshoot studios which obviously the Midwest had lacking in this. So I want to shout out that another studio has now been heading towards the Midwest, and they will be opening a Respawn, like a third location for Respawn in the middle of Madison, which the other big team there, who don't know, it was Lost Boy Games is out of Madison, who got bought, who were the lead developers on Tiny Tina's Wonderland last year, or 2 years ago, or last year, and then was eventually bought by Gearbox. So I think it's exciting that there's more kind of teams popping up throughout the Midwest. I don't know, AJ, if you have any thoughts about what is starting to become the revival of the Midwestern game scene.
I think it's cool because, you know, it's one of those things where this part of the U.S. is very underrepresented in the modern tech world.
Mm-hmm. And Madison's one of those cities I think has definitely tried to fight to get a little more of a boom going.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, it's cool to see.
Also, I appreciate that they are opening studios in actually affordable cities.
Yeah.
Because for you don't know, you could go 15 minutes outside Madison and buy homes for like under $200K. Like, this is like, when people talk about like game places only being expensive cities, this is the type of city you want game studios to start popping up in.
Definitely, yeah.
So, I think it's great, and I look forward to kind of see what's coming up in that area. Next story, it finally happened, AJ. Starfield officially has a release date. Microsoft and Bethesda claim the game will be coming out on September 6th. I asked the initial question. Do we think that happens?
No, it gets pushed at least 2 weeks.
So that's what I was thinking. I think them saying September 6th to me, it will come out this year. I would not be shocked if it turns into an October or November game.
Oh yeah, it comes out this year.
Because I don't think they put a date on it if it didn't.
Right. Also, as we're recording this photo broke, and it's not super important that you see it. For those that don't know, Jamal Hill is the World Light Heavyweight Champion in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
From Grand Rapids, Michigan. Believe it or not. The belt is back, baby. The UFC belt is in Grand Rapids. And it's a photo of him standing in front of the billboard. Which, I will say this. If this is how we get a UFC event in Michigan...
You all for it.
You're going to see my ass in whatever arena it is. I'm not even a huge fan of the UFC. I will go to that event.
I like it.
Dana White, book it.
Dana White, you heard him. Next story. This happened today as we're recording. So people who don't know, E3 is supposed to come back this year. The story of GDC last week that was kind of more off the record, but people are starting talking about today is, anyone you ask the words are you going to E3? The correct everyone's answer was, I don't know if it's happening. And now we partially know why. The only confirmed publisher of the big publishers at E3 was Ubisoft, effective until 5 hours ago. Ubisoft announced they will be pulling out of their reboot of E3, and there is exactly 0 confirmed publishers currently scheduled for E3, which is, I think, 11 weeks out.
So this just totally confirms those reports that, is it Redbubble that bought it?
No, it's ReedPop.
ReedPop.
ReedPop has the brand, yes.
Yeah, this totally confirms the reports that ReedPop is just so far behind the ball right now.
Yeah, because like Ubisoft, I don't even remember this. They go anywhere. Ubisoft does not care. Like Ubisoft, in the way they'll support any emerging technology, they'll go to any show. Like when you lose Ubisoft, and you already lost everyone else, that's bad.
Yeah.
And my money is, that you might get something called E3 this year. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do to like make it matter, but this will be it. There will be nothing called E3 next year unless it's just a brand for a season of 50 award shows. But there's not going to be a E3 in quotes ever again. Would be my guess. You think I'm wrong?
I think the brand, excuse me, I think the brand exists throughout the next few years solely as a, hey, this is an E3,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think it exists in the same way last year we were talking about Jeff Keighley's Summer of Games.
Oh, I think it's even less than that.
Because, like, that was at least some level of people know who that is.
I mean, I think it's just a brand at this point, right? Like, there's no more event. It's just E3 the brand.
Which I would put out, there is something sad, I think, to it of, like, that was the thing growing up that people pointed to, of, like, when everything was announced and exciting times. But yeah, I think we have left that time.
Well, yeah, when you figure it's like $7 or $8 million to have a show at E3. When those publishers can do it themselves for half that, they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
There's no reason that Sony would ever come back to E3. Because it's just way too much money.
Yeah. Next story I want to shout out towards the tail end of this. This, I swear to God, AJ, I didn't just try to find turtle stories. It just happened this month. It
Sure.
been, it has been. All these stories are real stories. So we don't know. Last year, Turtles had a comic called The Last Ronin, which is kind of like about like a post-apocalyptic turtle comic. Apparently, it is going to become a AAA game, is the rumor. More akin to like a God of War, which I think will be very interesting, and I think I'll be intrigued kind of how they handle it. But I hope you realize I saw that story and I thought it was one of those fake stories floating around because Turtles aren't I'm not dumb. They're gonna get like how we got last year's Shredder's Revenge. You don't get like AAA like Ninja Turtle games. I want to know like whose hand was shook to like make this happen? Because
palms were greased. Backs were pat, dicks were stroked.
Because on the low end, this is a $50 million game.
Yeah, probably.
Because like, just be realistic of like what's a low AAA budget.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of depends, right? How many of those assets from Last Ronin are they just going to use? Because that could cut down a lot of costs.
Last Ronin is a comic book, though.
Right, but if this game's going to be 2D potentially,
sure. I guess we don't know. We actually don't know if it's going to be a 2D or 3D game. When they said the words God of War, though, I was assuming 3D.
Yeah, but maybe that's just an example of the scale of the game, and not necessarily, it's going to be a third-person action adventure.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see, and I'm assuming we'll know more probably at some point this June, whoever publishes it. Like, because all the publishers start doing something in June, so I bet you will kind of know more in the next few months. But last story, I think it's kind of like last month, where I'm enjoying finding these threads of game developers just roasting on the games media, because they do it better than I think even we can. So there was this thread that I linked to that AJ can see too, about PC Gamer did this story about what if Cities Skylines was made in Unreal Engine 5. And I like how it's just developers roasting in the comments of, I think there should be a rule, and I agree with this rule, that if any games journalist is going to talk about what would happen if you just switch game engines mid-development, they just need to, like, spend 10 minutes in a game engine and try to do that. Because you don't just switch engine and mystically your game looks 10 times better. That's not how any of this works. And I think it's funny to me that we're still kind of at this point with games journalism where it seems like they really don't know how any of this works.
You know why I always loved the journalism of old GameSpot, early Giant Bomb?
Why?
Because they didn't do this shit.
Like they knew they didn't know shit.
They knew people that knew this stuff.
Right, yeah. I'm not saying you should, like, if you're a publication and you want to develop to come out and do stuff, yeah, go ahead. Or, like, there are times you could say something and you had some back end. But it's obvious when I read something and you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
Like, if I read one more news story ever again about a game is coming out this time because the voice actor said, I'm gonna lose it. Do you know what I remember with Kingdom Hearts 3 where every year the goofy actor was like, it's coming out this year, and everyone's like, he must know. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, yeah.
Rule of thumb, I think we're ready to burn it down. All in favor?
Say aye.
Perfect. Okay. To wrap us up, let's talk about the stuff coming out soon. Dead Island 2 will be out April 21st. Finally. Jedi Survivor, I'm assuming a game AJ super looking forward to, April 28th.
Damn straight.
Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th. Suicide Squad, as of now, May 26th. I'm keeping the asterisks on it. We'll find out. The System Shock remake comes out May 30th, which I'm looking forward to. Street Fighter 6 comes out June 2nd. The Game of the Summer, Diablo 4, will come out June 6th. Final Fantasy 16 will come out June 22nd. I forgot to push it up. Redfall actually comes out May 2nd, so actually that's a lot sooner than some of these. Apologize about that. Skull and Bones, we still don't have a date on, but Starfield we do, which is September 6th. For me, it's System Shock and Diablo. I'm assuming on this list for you, AJ, it is Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I might dabble in Street Fighter 6.
That's I thought you dabbled in fighting games.
I dabble in the Street Fighter and the Tekkens. I don't dabble in the other ones.
See, Mortal Kombat was more the one I would dabble in, but
I just have not had a great time with MK games.
I think I have a great time with Injustice, which makes me have a good enough time with Mortal Kombat because I don't control that differently.
Yeah, I can see that.
So if you learn one, I think the other one, at least it's not the end of the world. It's kind of like Street Fighter and Tekken. I know they're not the same, but like they're pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, right? Like, if I can grasp Street Fighter, Tekken is just a 3D Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's being able to use space, which is nice.
Cool. And then finally, we got Decide Movie Club. I looked at what's coming out in April. AJ, there is really two options that I think would make any sense for Movie Club. The first would obviously be the Super Mario Brothers movie. Or we have Renfield, which is that Nicolas Cage vampire movie. Do you have any argument why it shouldn't be Mario?
I mean, I have several people at work that are really interested in this Renfield movie.
Okay.
And I would vote for that for them. That being said, I really don't care what wins this month.
Because I think... So I am morbidly curious about Mario to the point where I think it's going to matter.
I can see that, yeah.
I also think it's interesting, though, that Renfield is Chris McKay.
It's not that interesting.
fair, but like, God, he has a career.
Yes.
So, are we going with Mario?
Fuck it, we'll go with Mario.
So that's it, everyone. Movie club for the announced. It is a me, Mario. So remember to go to your local cineplexes and watch the Super Mario Brothers movie coming out on April 5th. God, let's just hope that movie's good.
It's not gonna be.
It
And you
has to be
know it.
better than. It's got better than the first one. Like, you can't convince me it won't be. I think it's impossible.
Yeah, I think it'll be better.
So. Alright, well that would do it for us this month for the SWW show. AJ, what you finished your long drink?
I finished it a while ago.
I don't know if you opened the second one. I don't know. I didn't hear it though.
What do you got? I'm actually all out of long drinks now. I have to go buy some more.
That's it, folks. Next week, go tune in with AJ. He'll put on one of those head cams and will take us to a Michigan liquor store.
Yeah, sure, whatever. We'll do an IRL stream where we go into a Meijer and buy some booze.
You know there are people in this country being like, you can walk in a grocery store?
Maybe.
I'll see all you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.
The SWW Show and all of its affiliate podcasts are podcast by me, Mike Maroney, and AJ Losi, sometimes by contributors, including Corey King. You can follow the SWW Show on social media at the SWW Show, or sooner or later you go to patreon.com/SWW to help us out. Thank you. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day.